Hey, hello all. Is my voice is audible for all? Let me check.
Hey, hello all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's audible. Okay. Okay, so we start our section as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, so the same information, like this is the day 3 of JavaScript. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, Sri Hariharan. And this is the day 3 of JavaScript section. And at the end of the session, you're going to have a form that if you fill the form, you will also get the participation certificate towards that. Okay, so without wasting my time, I just get into the concepts. Okay. And what are the concept we have seen before? Means we have discussed about something like what is variables and what is data and what is objects, how objects, the syntax works, and that is all we have covered. And we see about something like what is hoisting. Not we don't see about hoisting, we see about the um, uh, that out asked by the student, right? So what is meant by reference by value, call by reference by value, and also something like type correction, right? So these are all the topics we have covered yesterday. So today what we're going to do, we're just going to see about the methods in this data type. So okay, so we're just going to see about the methods in data types, and also we just move on to some other topics like functions, loops, and conditional statements, like that, how other data types works. Okay, so we want to move on to other data types and see that, right? That is the main reason. Okay, so for that I just open my JS bin. Okay, so I already JS bin and why I'm using JS bin and all. Okay, if you all the code that I'm running in JS bin, if you want the code, you just go for our blog website, that the webdev.tech is the blog website we have, and you can see all the codes is available there. Read the blog and you can write the code as how. Okay, so yeah, so let's move to the section. Okay, so that a bit I just notes. Okay, so yesterday we covered about the we end the session with the object literals, right? So in this object literals we have discussed about something like what is methods and properties, right? So this is how objects works. So the same like, okay, so now we see about the array, we move on to the next thing later. Okay, so let's see, we go and work with the array and we about objects, right? And we discuss about what is the difference between arrays and objects. Okay, so and how it varies and why we have to do data types, like two different but same data types. Everything is an object, right? So that is what we're going to see. So now what I'm going to do, I just go and work with some of the array. Okay, so I just going to say let or const, whatever you want. I just say let x is equal to, and for creating an array you need to give a square bracket, and inside this you can give a list of values. So what is the difference between primitive and reference data type? In primitive data type you can able to hold only one values, right? But in reference data type, if it is an objects, if it is an array is also a reference data type. Okay, so it is also belong to the object type only. Due to its vast supportings, we have array. See arrays as a huge topic. Okay, so that is why we are seeing arrays a different topic. Instead, arrays is also an object. Okay, so let I explain how arrays is also going to be an object and all. Let I explain, and you came to know that how it is working and all. Okay, so the main difference is reference type contains more value to the primitive data types, right? For example, if I say x and I can give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, like this, I can give n number of values. Okay, so how can this is called as array? Okay, if I say console.log, just display the x, and if I run this, you can see an entire array is run, right? So entire, it is also a variable that holds more than one values, that is called as reference data types, and if it is called by using this syntax, then it is called as array. Okay, so now we want to see how to access an array. For accessing an array, you need to use the indexes. So in array, the indexes starts from array. Indexes is not only array, everything in JavaScript, that index starts from 0. Okay, So what is mean by indexes? So this is one of the main important concept that you need to understand what is mean by indexes. Okay, so then only you can able to understand the data structures that how arrays works. So let I give an example, right? So what is mean by indexes means indexes is nothing but it is like consider if you have a Excel. Okay, so Excel means egg box. Okay, so in the egg box you can able to put 12 eggs, right? And each egg is considered as a value, and the place where you are putting the egg, that is considered as index. Okay, so indexes is nothing but the place where your values are go and sit. Okay, so that is called as indexes. So how can we remember? Indexes is nothing but if I take an egg box. Okay, so welcome. So if I take an egg box, so what would happen? That there is an hole is there, right? Not a hole like a bulged area, right? So you have a bulged area is there, and everything is has three, so around 4 columns, 3 rows is 4 rows, 3 columns is there. That is considered as the indexes. Okay, so the value, the egg is a value, whatever you are putting on the top of that indexes, that is considered as the value. The same like this, indexes is a place where the value is present. Okay, so what I say indexes starts from 0. Okay, so if I go here, you can see it has the index of 0, the value the value which is present in the first, that is has the index of 0, and this is has the index of 1, this is has index of 2, and this is has index of 3, and this is has the index of 4. Okay, let me see how to access it. For accessing it, I just going to say console.log. For example, what the number I want to access, I just want to access the first value. How can I access? For accessing it in object, it is different, right? You need to put a dot operator, or you need to give a square bracket, and inside this you need to give an double quotes and all, right? So but here in array, for accessing is not by key value pairs. I just explain what is the difference between arrays and object too. Okay, so I will explain that too. Okay, right now you understand array is accessed by their indexes, and this indexes start from 0. Okay, if you want to access an array, first you need to call that array. Okay, which array I going to access? X is the array name, I called that, and after that you need to give a square bracket. Okay, inside the square bracket you need to tell which index. Okay, so which index you need to access. For example, right now I say that the first value, the index starts from 0. If I want the first value, I need to put 0 here. If I put 0 here, this is index. Okay, so what would happen in the X array? Search for the 0th index, like it is like go and take the egg in the first shell, like that. Okay, so I already explained, right? The box which has an bulged area, that is indexes, and the egg is a value. If you want to take the first egg, what you need to do, you need to take the egg in the first index. That is the same like this. If I want to take the value number 1, then I want to declare the index as 0. If I run this, here you can see value 1 is displayed, right? So if I want to access this 3, how can I display, what I can put? So you need to go for the index. It is 0, it is 1, and it is 2. Okay, if I put 2, now you can able to see it gives 3. Okay, so this is indexes. By using this indexes, it is accessing the value. Okay, so it is not only whatever you want to give inside this, you can able to give. For example, if you want to, if I have an array like this. Okay, array like this, and inside this, if I want to give a name, okay, what I can do, I just going to say like I just want to give a string. This is a string data type. Okay, like this. Okay, so if I want to access this, you need to call for 0, and after that I just going to give a number like 22, and after that I just going to say an boolean value like true, something like this, and after that I can give null, and after that I just give undefined, and after that, even if you want to give an object, you can able to give an object too. Okay, so that is a concept that we see later. Okay, right now we just go, these all are several different data types, right? So all are different data types, sorry, all are different data types. Let's see how can we access all this. Okay, so the same thing, if you want to access this first value, what you want to put, you need to put the 0, because it starts from 0th index. If I put this, you can see the array is accessed. If you want to access the null value, then what you need to put, you need to put what, you need to put index of 3. if I put the index of 3 and I just run this code, you can see null is accessed. Okay, so here you need to remember one thing: array is accessed by numbered index. Okay, so array is accessed by their numbered index. In JavaScript, array is accessed by numbered index. But if you are go for some other language, like if I say PHP, it is also an array that it is also accessed by their named indexes too. Okay, like it like an object too. It has, that is called as associative arrays. So if someone asks you what is mean by associative array, or whether associative array is present in JavaScript, the answer is no. JavaScript does not have an associative array. It has only an array that is accessed only by the numbered index. If it is accessed by the named index, then it is called as associative arrays. Okay, so JavaScript doesn't have associative arrays. This is the only thing you need to remember. Okay, next thing, let's see what is the difference between an object and an array. Okay, so this is an array. Okay, so if I say, so before getting into that, if I go here and I call for the type of operator like console.log, and I just say type of operator. So what does type of operator do? The type of operator, that the method gives the which data type the variable belongs to. So right now I just give the variable x, and if I run this code, you can see it is gives me an object type. Okay, so I already said that everything in JavaScript is an object, the arrays is an object, a function is an object, and whatever we can say, an object is also an object, and string is an object, a number is an object, everything is an object. But the data types has some unique specification. That is why it is differentiated into primitive data types and as reference data types. In the reference data types, object is there. Even array is an object also. We have a huge huge working on array. Okay, we do huge working. We use array methods and all huge. Okay, array of object. I don't understand the question. Like, can you explain it a little bit brief? Array of object. Okay, so array is also an object. Okay, so let I explain how this array is created by using object. I will explain you. For example, if we go and we create an object. Okay, so if I say let y is equal to, and for creating an object we use the curly phrase, but instead in array we use the what? This, which one? This square bracket, right? So here I just give name is equal to, and I just say something like this, give a, and like age is equal to, like we can say 28, and we can say is married, false, something like this. Okay, so these all are called, this is called as object, right? This is called as object, right? So if I console log it, if I console.log y, okay, after this we just go for the inspect, and just go for the console, and here you can see, here this is an array. Okay, so where is the object? Okay, where is the object? Oh, I don't run the code. If after running this code I just go and click the inspect, and I go for the console, and here you can see an object is created. And if I click this object, you can see all our properties are mentioned here, like the prototype, it is an object, and it is name is mentioned Harry, and is married is false, and the age is equal to 22. Okay, it is mentioned here. The same like this, if I open the array, you can see that it is also mentioned same like the object, but instead it has age is equal to 28, is married is equal to false, name is equal to Harry, right? So this is has key value pairs. So object has a key value pairs. It has a named index, but here you can see it has only numbered index. This is the indexes and this is the value. This is has a numbered index. Okay, so this is the main difference between object and array. HTML structure is an object. HTML structure is an object. What is asking for HTML structure? Which is what structure you are asking? I don't get it. Okay, so object in JavaScript, everything is an object. Okay, so in JavaScript everything is an object, and when you want to manipulate the HTML, when you want to manipulate something like when you use the DOM properties, and there it's also you have you have like a document.get element by id. Those are also comes under the concepts of objects. Okay, so everything is comes under the concepts of objects. Okay, so let us explain, like for example, how this array is created. How this array is created, let we when I use the type of operator x, it is show something like object, right? So how it is created? It is created like this, like 0 is equal to Hari, 1 is equal to 28, and 2 like this. Okay, an array is also created like this. Okay, so that is why I say that even array is also an object. Everything in JavaScript is an object, not only array, even a string is also an object. But the data type, it comes under the primitive data types, it comes the reference data type. But JavaScript, entire JavaScript is built by object. For example, you can see if I go for the inspect, and just console log it, you can see the same syntax, right? Age is equal to 28, is married is equal to false, the same syntax is there, right? So if I call for something like window, okay, so what is this window means? This is the global object. We can say this is one of the global object. If I press the enter, you can see it is also an object. You can see this display all the things, right? So this is a property, this is a method. So how we created a property and method? We created, for example, here you can see the console too. Okay, if I go scroll down, if I go for C section, and you can find out the console operator, you can see clear interval is there, get interval is there, like this, so much of things. Even the console is an object. Okay, so the console is an object. That's how we created that console log too. Okay, so if I just click this, and this is an object and this is a method. Okay, so every function that is inside an object is called as method. Okay, every function that inside an object is called as a method. So this is also one of the important thing you need to know. Okay, so this is the main difference between object and array. So what is the difference? The object is accessed by their indexes, but the array is accessed by their using numbered indexes, but the object is accessed by their keys. You can see keys is there, right? If I put 0, it is accessed by this. If I run this, sorry, I just put an named index. Right, you can see my name is fetched, right? So this is how it works. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so everything in JavaScript is an object. Okay, so this is array and this is object, and this is more than enough. You need to go for the another thing. Okay, so right now what we're going to see, we're going to see about the method. Okay, so if I say method, right now you can understand, right? What is method? I say that object, inside an object, if there is a function is there, that is called as method. Okay, the same like this, a function is called different, it is called and evoked differently. A method is called and evoked differently, right? For example, we see that when we are discussing the function, we just see that. Right now what we're going to see, we see about methods. I'm saying methods here means I already instated, right? A string is also an object, and number is also an object, and boolean is also an object, null is object, and everything is object. Okay, but they are different data types. Primitive reference, that is different topic, but everything is created by object. Okay, so each object has a method, which means each object has a functionality, which means inbuilt function. So before that, you need to know about what is function, right? So what is mean by a function means a function is a particular task has to happen. Okay, so by using, if I call that means a particular task, a block of code will be run. Whenever I am calling this, a block of code will be run. So I don't want to repeat it again and again. Okay, so just simply I call that, I can remember that. Like the function is like a naming to us. For example, if someone calls my name, I will be look back or respond to them. The same like this, if I call the function will respond to us. Okay, inside the function, a block of code is there, and it is waiting for us. It is waiting to respond. Okay, for example, let me see, I just going to say, before going to method, we just go for the function. A function is a huge topic too. Okay, so for creating a function, it also has a two ways, but we go with the declaration method. It is a most common ways, and after that we see that for creating a function, you need to use a function keyword. Like if you created a variable, you use let const, something like that, right? The same like this, for creating a function, you need to use the function keyword, and you need to give name for that function, and after that you need to give this parenthesis, and this is used for the parameter 1, and after that you need to give a curly braces, and inside this you need to say the code to execute. See, something like this. Okay, the code to execute, this is what, this is actually a function. Okay, and if you want to run this code, you need to call that name. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, I just going to say user name, something like this. I just named the function as username, and here inside this I just, if someone calls this function has to display console.log, and here I just mention like Harry. Okay, so I just refresh the to clear my console. Okay, so like this. So after that, if I run this, you can see nothing is there. Why? Because the function, everything inside the function, it is also like an variable. How the variable is stored in a memory heap, the same like this function is also stored in like that, and it is waiting for someone to call. When someone is calling, then the function will be evoked. For example, I just say not like this. I just want to call the name, username, and if I simply call like this, you can see it will return the formula for us, right? Sorry, we need to call the function, and you need to call the function by using this parenthesis. Okay, so when you are using method, if you call like this, means it will run the formula, but in function you need to call with this parenthesis. Okay, because this is a function. Okay, if I call this, you can see it will be run. If I call again, this will be run again. If I call again, it will be call again. So like this, if I want to use this code, if I want to use the same number of code in different places, what I can do, I just go and paste, and I just go and paste, and I just go and paste like this. And how many times I'm pasting, that much time this code will run. Okay, so it is a pretty useful one, right? So whenever I'm calling, whenever someone calls me, I will respond. The same like this, whenever I'm calling the function, a block of code will be executed. Okay, so it is going to be a more dynamic, we see that too. Okay, how you can see here a parenthesis, right? So inside the parenthesis you can able to give a parameter, okay, like a comma b, something like this, right? A comma b, something like this. And this is going to be, right now let's we create a simple calculator. We can create a simple calculator, like for example, I just going to do the mathematic operation. How can I do that? A plus, I just say a plus b. Okay, so right now what I have written means, I just remove all this. So I create a function and I named this as cal. Okay, so this is going to be our calculator, and I give two things, a and b. So what is this? What is this a and b? So the a and b is called as parameters. So what this parameter will do means, it will takes, it is also like an variable, but it is not exactly the variable. It's something different. Okay, so it's what it do means, it takes the value. It takes the value from when the who calls the function. Okay, so it takes the value from who calls the function, and it will give access to that value inside this function. Like you can see here, a is there and b is there, and the value is passed to a and value is passed to b, and this a and b go and do this work and will be displayed in our console. Okay, let's see how it work. Okay, for example, if I say cal and I open that, and you can see this is calling the function, and I parenthesis is open to call a function, and here you can see a and b is there. If I run commonly like this, you can see a nan is there. Why it is sending a nan? Because it has a parameter, right? If it has a parameter, I need to pass a value here. Okay, so this value passing is called as arguments. Okay, so whatever the value I'm giving here, it will be goes to the parameter and it will be run inside the code. Okay, right now I don't pass anything. Then what happened? It is called as undefined, right? So undefined plus undefined, it say it is not a number. It just simply represent not a number. For example, instead of this, I just give 2 and I just give comma and just give 4. So now what happened? This 2 is the value for the first parameter, like a, and this 4 is the value for the second parameter, and that is b. And then what happened? this A go inside here and this B go inside here, and they do this operation and they send the value as here. If I run this, you can see a value is 6. Okay, the same like this. If I call again and I can give like 12,000 comma 30,000 something, 30,000 or lakh anything, I just give this, it will be send the value for us. I don't want to calculate every time, right? So this is how many times we can execute the function. It depends upon you how many times you want, you can execute a function. Okay, so that is the purpose of the function. Like you can execute, that is the speciality of the function. Like you can execute whenever you want. Like if you are using a scientific calculator, like you can see, you go to the web browser, you can see a calculator, right? So in that calculator, the same logic is behind that. But here I just give manually the value, right? Here I just give the manually value, but there the user will give the value and we access the value and we do the operation, what operation they actually want, and we will send the result to the output, right? So this is depends upon the program. Like you can declare a function and whenever you want, you can able to call that function. Okay, so the times is not we don't have an like limited time like that, no. Okay, so you can call uh, you can able to call that many times. Okay, so that is the only reason. Okay, so this is the functionality of the function. So the here what are the things you need to remember? So for declaring a function, you need a keyword, and naming the function is very important. And inside this is called as parenthesis. That parenthesis holds some value, and that value is given by the user, like given by when it is called. This is, we can say, calling or evoking a function. Okay, if I don't call or evoking a function, this piece of code will be read. This piece of code will be read by the JavaScript. It is stored like a variable. It is waiting for someone to call. When you call that function, then it will be executed. Okay, okay, so this is all about functions. Okay, so let's go and see about methods. Okay, so it is the same thing. When this function is inside an object, that is called as method, right? The same thing when the function is goes inside an object, that is called as method, right? So the same thing, it will be work like this. And let's see how the string has. So what all are the string? So this is we going to see about string method. Okay, so what is mean by method here in this data types means, a method here in the data type is nothing but a default some function that we can already have. Like I created a logic, right? A plus, if I send a two value to that function, it will calculate and send the result to the console. This is what, this is some function. Same like this, that was created by me. And the same like this, JavaScript itself created some functions and inside an object, so it is called as a method. So that methods are defaultly available to do some action, so it will reduces our manual coding. So the programmer like us, what they do, they will create those methods. Okay, so to minimize our work. Okay, so that is main reason. For example, if I have a string, I just say let name equal to something like this, if I have a name something like this, if I have a name like this, and you can see this is the name of the person. Okay, so right now we go with some basic. Okay, so like if I just remove this, okay, and I have another thing that is called as let, we can go with, this is a first name. Okay, this is the first name. And if I go with the second name or last name, anything, whatever the name you want to give, you can give. Okay, so the last name I just give something like this, right now I want to add this to name. How can I do that? I just want to say like let full name equal to, so how can we do that? We can call, we can say my, just say my name is, and you can use the plus operator. What this plus operator will do here means, if you add two numbers, then it will add that. If you add a string, then it will concatenate that. Let's see how it is work. If you want to add this, my name is something like this, and I call the first name, and I just give a plus, and I just give a space, and I just give again plus, and I give this last name if I call this name. Okay. Okay, so what happened? So this is a string. If I console log this full name, what will happen? What would happen means my name is, and this is a variable f name. It goes there, and this is Hari is called. So my name is Hari, and it gives a space. Here you can see I just created an empty string with a space, and this S name. What is my S name? It's Prasad. My name is Hari Prasad will be displayed. You can see that. Console.log full name. Simply like this. I'm calling this variable. If I call this, if I run this, you can see my name is Hari Prasad will be displayed. And this is a simple thing called concatenation. A concatenation, if you use the plus operator, it will concatenate a string. If you use the same thing for a number, then it will go and add that. Okay, so that's the difference between plus operators here. But all other operation will not work in the string. Okay, only the plus operator will do the concatenation. Can we use the same as the method? Can have the same as a method? The same as a method. So concatenation, like, yeah, of course we have, like, we have a method called concatenate. So what this will do, this will concatenate the method. I will explain that. Just a minute. Just give a minute. You have a methods in JavaScript, like for example, if I just go JS and cat prototype.concat, this is a string concat. Yeah, you can go for JS string concat. Like what this is doing, you can able to concat using the method too. So I just explain how this works. You can see this is something like this, right? Hari is there and Prasad is there. Okay, I want to concatenate this and I want to display it. How can I say? Like let full name equal to, what I going to say, this is f name, right? So I just say f name dot concat, and this method you can see here a clear documentation is here. A concatenate is there, like result dot text one dot concatenate, which means the text one is hello and the text two is world, right? So and I create a variable, and here they say text one. What is meant by text one? Hello dot concatenate. This is a method. Okay, so that is what you are asking, like this is a method, and you can use the bracket, and inside this whatever you want to concatenate you can able to give that. For example, I just want to concatenate what? I want to concatenate my first name with the last name. So S name. So I just simply call the S name. Okay, if I now console log it, you can see Hari Prasad will be displayed. Full name is not defined. Wait a minute. F name dot. Okay, so it is in small letter. So I remember that variables are case sensitive. Okay, you need to display it in that. You can see the value Hari Prasad will be displayed. Okay, so this is by using method. This is normally we are doing. Okay, so it is very easy when, so methods is something like this. It will like help us. Let I explain how it will help us. For example, you have a paragraph. Okay, let us consider. Let I just say str, and I just go here, and I just simply go here, and what I going to do, I just going to Wikipedia. Okay, we can go for wiki, and I just go open the Wikipedia, and what I just doing, I just copy this paragraph and come to here, and I just put inside this. Okay, but here we will break it. What would happen? Okay, so okay, so like this you have several a paragraph is there. Right now I want to know the length of the string. How can I do that? You go and check 1 2 3. It is not that good, right? So there is another way of is there. It is called as looping. You can able to loop through each and every indexes of the string. Okay, so by that you can able to create that. Okay, so that is also a huge little bit and time consuming process. So there comes a method called as length. If you use that, it is not a method, it is like a property, like how you access the property, you can able to access the property. For example, if you want the length of the string, what you can do, you can just say, just a minute, you can just say console.log, and if I go here, str.leng, I think th, okay, so this is the length. What this is going to do, the same thing like in object, how we access a property, we access a property using dot, and we call that property, right, we call that key, the same like this what I'm doing. Okay, if it is a method, we will put in parenthesis. Right now it is not a method, it is a property. It is going to say, it is going to say how many length is that. Okay, if I just run this, you can see 346 is that, 346 word, 300, the length of that particular string is 346. I think you can see this same functionality when you're working with a PDF reader or something, right? So like for example, like you are writing a product description. I think some of them, if you know about content marketing, they do some product description that should be come 250, a paragraph that should be 250 below, right, 250 wordings below, like that is there, right? So they can check that how many word is in my paragraph, how many letter is in my paragraph, how many length of my paragraph. This is, there is an web app is there, like for example, I just go for a Google and I say word count, I think word count. So you can see a word counter is there. If I open this, you can see, if I entered the value, if I entered the same thing, for example, I just remove this and I just paste here, you can see 57 words, 346 characters is there. If I go for my browser, 349, so I think here also 49, yeah, 349 characters, the same 349 characters. What, now you have an idea, right? So this method, the exact method is used here. So they built an app and they also do some marketing, and they will provide some also. So right now you can also capable to build and word counter app. You can build and you can capable to word counter app, but some other things is there. Right now what we hard coded, right? So if I go here, if I go here, you can see I just give the paragraph right here itself, but here they built a good user interface. Here I can able to put my paragraph and the answer will be displayed here. Okay, so the answer will be displayed here. And if you want to know how many words is there, like if you want to know how many words is there, let's just don't wait for a second, just go for JS word string string word count. Just simply like whatever you comes in mind, just simply write this, and you can get like a for loop is there, like you by using the loop you can able to count that. And also a method is there, and by using that method also you can able to count that how many letters is there and how many words is there. By using that you can able to count that. Okay, so this is something called as methods that really saves our time. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, the same exact answer is also produced with the word count, like 339 characters is there. Okay, so just go and check what is the method for counting the words, counting the letters in that. Okay, so right now next what I want to do, there are some other methods also available. For example, if I want to change everything in capital, how can I do that? You can use to uppercase method. So to uppercase is a method. Okay, so for that you need to use the parenthesis. If I use this, if I run this, you can see that paragraph, everything is in the capital letter. Okay, so if you are filling form, you even if you fill the form in small letter, it will transfer the name and everything. Like for example, if you are filling the form, like if I am sending a form, right, if I am sending a Google form, and when you are entering your name, some of them enter small, some of them enter caps, like that. Okay, if I want to display in certificate, if I want to display everything in capital letter, what I am doing, I take that I take that value and store it in a variable, and that is convert the variable to uppercase method. And that to uppercase method, what it do, it converts everything, even it is in small, even it is in caps. What it will do, it converts everything in capital letter, and in your certificate you only shows the name should be in caps letter. Okay, the same like this, the to uppercase method. And the same like this, if the to uppercase method is available, we have to lowercase too. We have two lowercase too. If I run this, you can see everything in the two lowercase method, like a description, something like that. You can use the two lowercase method. And some other methods are include, like if you want to uh, break, like if you want to cut something, for example, if you want to cut to here something you need to cut, what you can do, you can be able to use the substring method, like substring is there, and by using the substring you can able to cut this. And this is work by two parameters. You can give here you need to give where to start and where to end. For example, you need to start with 0 and you need to end with 2. Okay, so that is my answer. So if it is start with 0, this is 0, and this is 1, and this is 2. Okay, so I just going to get only a only. If I go and run this, here you can see only a with the space is there. If I use 0, go and start with 1, and if I go and say 1, then what would happen? Here you can see only it displays a only. Why it displays a only? The substring, it will parse it. Okay, it will parse the variable inside this. Like for example, if you are entering more than a long name, but I want only short name, what I can do, I can parse it by level characters. So I just want the first level thing only, the other things are I don't want, like that I can able to parse it. Okay, so the same thing, the substring what will do, this is where to start and this is where to end. What is meant with this zeros and 1? It is an indexes, right? Wise string is also start with 0, and this white space is 1, and this is also 2, like this it will count. Okay, so this is also something like this. And you can have some other methods like include includes. So what this includes methods do, so whatever the word you are giving inside this, it will check whether it is present or not. So I think you remember that when you go for ms word, you have an option called find, right? If you click that find and if you type something, what the word you want to find, it will highlight it, right? So it will highlight in the entire document where it is, where the word is present, right? The same like this, it will include method is nothing but it will check in the entire string, in the entire paragraph, whether this word is present or not. For example, if I give hurry, and you can see in the entire paragraph, it will check whether the hurry is present or not. If it is present, it will run true. If it is not, it will run false. So in the entire paragraph, hurry is not present. So whether I say Vicky, right now you can see Vicky is present, right? So Vicky is present. If I call this, you can see it will be sends me true. So these are the some of the work, these are the some of the methods that we have available, and we can use that too. Okay, so this is string methods. Okay, so something called a string method. So I just go for Google, I just go and say string js string methods list, and if you go for images, you can see these all methods are available, like substr, substring we have seen, and replace is nothing but it will replace that. If you want, if you use the replace string, you can able to replace that particular word. For example, instead of Vicky, you need to replace Hari, you can able to replace that by using the replace method. Okay, so uppercase, it's something like two uppercase, two lowercase, and search is nothing but it will represent where it will send the index of that. Okay, and slice is nothing but it will slice out, right? It will displace the it is in right now in string, right? So if I use the slice method, what would happen means it will convert this to an array. Okay, so each and every method has the value. Trim is nothing but it avoid the white spaces in the back and front, and the caret is nothing but like if I say go and say like caret, it will, what it is going to say, it will check, it will send the index of this. For example, let me check, like I just go and say caret, and if I run this, okay, Just a minute. Big key. Okay, what is the, let's see, what is the method for caret? String caret. So this is the method. Okay, so what this is going to be do, you can check. I think it's going to be the index of the first letter. If I go click here, you can see. Okay, so you can, if you do the index, then it will be written that particular word. Okay, so that is how it works. So like for example, if you say 0, it will return h. If you will say 1, it will return something like this. If I say, like, instead of removing this, if I say 2, you can say it will return w. Yes, it will return w, right? So by using the indexes, you can access it. That is the caret. And what is the other thing? What is the other methods we have in the, oh, not here. We go for the methods, right? So last index of char code at match, you can see the match is the toString method is the values, the trim is the slice, concatenate method we have seen. So these are some of the methods that we have already. Okay, so let's see. If I want to, that is, googling is always a best option when you are working with some of lot of methods. There are even more methods are available for some other data types. You are not able to just memorize everything. By experience you can able to memorize something, but it is waste of time. Okay, so just use the Google and you can find out. Right now what I want count the word of the string. Okay, so I just going to say count the, so I think we have an loops and all, we can use that. Count the word in string this, simply like this. Okay, so we have loops. Yeah, by using the loops you can able to count like this. If I go for here, it is like splitting, count the word in a string by using JavaScript. We just go here and you can use like some of the advanced method, like is that whatever you want to count, whether you want to count is that, and everything is available. Okay, so this is something how this word count, in the word count we are using characters, right? The same like this, those words are available. Okay, so this is how you use this methods in string. The same like this we have the methods in array too. For example, I just create an array. I just create an array const x is equal to, let's just say 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, something like this. Okay, so we have some of the methods to access this. Okay, for accessing this, what we can do, we access to access the value, right? The same like this, if you want to add something, okay, so then what happens, you can use the push method and pop method to add and delete at the last value, and we have shift and unshift method to add and delete in the first value. For example, I just say x dot pop. So what is this going to do means, if I use the x dot pop means, then it will delete the last indexes. Okay, so it will delete the last indexed value. If I say console dot log x, okay, if I run this, you can see only 1 2 3 and 3 will be displayed, because I use the pop method. Then what it will do, it is like who is in the top, it will be remove that. Like for example, it is the same like this, last come first remove. Okay, so who is in the last, they, it will be removed. If I use pop again, if I copy this, if I paste it, if I use the pop again, if I run this, now you can see 1 2 will be there, because this x dot pop remove this 4, and again if I use the x dot pop, this will remove the 3. If I again use this, this will be removed 2, like this. Okay, what if this is used for remove element in lost. Okay, so this is used for remove element in lost. So the same like this, if I want to add an element, then what I can do, for example, x dot push, x dot, right now we have only 1 and 2. So if I say x dot push, and inside this you can view what is the value you want to add. For example, I want to add 6. Okay, I just say like this, and what it do, it will remove the last two element. This will remove 4, this will remove 3, and this will add that. So we're going to get 1 to 6. If I run this, you can see 1 to 6. So what this push method do, it will add element in the last. Okay, so what if I want to add an element in the first index, then you have an unshift method is there, x dot shift, not unshift. So the unshift method is used to add element in the first. For example, 0. If I something add this, you can get 0, 1 to 6. And this, you can say 0, because the shift method add element at the first index. Add element in the first index, something like this. And if you want to remove the first element, then what you can able to do, you can use shift method. Okay, so here unshift is for add, shift is to remove. Okay, so what I can do right now, 0 is there, right? So here I just going to say x dot shift. You don't want to say nothing, because it automatically remove the first element, not element like value. That is why I'm saying element. Okay, so what it will remove that first example. So I have an array like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I use the pop method, it will remove the 4, and again I'm using the pop method, it will remove the 3, and then I say push, so it is going to add 6. So right now 1 to 6 is there, and if I use the shift method, that 1 will be delete, because the first index is delete, and we have only 2 6 is there. And right now I just say 0, then we're going to get 0 to 6 is the last array, 0 to 6, right? Pop, push, shift, unshift, slice, and splice. Yeah, remove last element of an array. Yes. So what is meant by slice and splice means, it is also something like if I use the splice method or slice method, you can convert the string. So if you use the splice method, what it will do, it will same thing, parse it like substring. Okay, if you use the slice method, it will convert that something to an array. Okay, so that is how it works. For example, we go, if I go and I just say slice string js, if I just go here, you can see that the slice method is used to parse it, like it starts from 0, and you need to parse the 5, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, and the hello only be stored. Okay, so this is the slice method. Okay, so if you want to use the splice method, what is meant by splice method, we just simply like this. If I go for this, and we already say that the slice is already do that, we say like splice. Okay, so this is something like, this is also the same thing like how to like parsing something. Okay, so these all methods are do something like parsing something. Like, yes, WE3 school, and you have so many resources. Like if you go for even Stack Overflow is a great place to ask your questions and all, and you can say, and there is a thing called MDN, and by using the MDN web docs only, you will get recommendation in your Java Visual Studio Code editor. Okay, so that is a huge like everything will be there. Okay, so you just go and just for JavaScript, you can see introduction to HTML, introduction to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and it goes with the beginner level to advanced level. Okay, so if you want to read this docs, I will highly recommend go and read that. Okay, so other than that, these all are the methods. So methods is nothing but you need to understand that some of the default function that is available to reduce our work. So that is actually a method. Okay, the string, the same like this, array also has some other method. So this is something that adding, removing an element, and we also have some other methods also, like you can able to find, if I say console.log x, right? So if I just click the length and go for my console, and you can see an array is there. If I open this, and you can see 0 to 3 is there. If I open this, here you can see prototype is there. If I open this, these all are the methods available, like constructor methods, fill method, filter method, find method, find index, logs finder, flat map, for each. it is a loop. Okay, so these everything will be like, you can say like slice is available, shift is available, splice is available. You can see it is a function, like what it is going to be do, everything will be there. Okay, even further you can see what it is going to do, everything will be there. So what are the methods you can able to, like we can see about the unshift method. A toString method is to convert this to methods to toString method. And we have something like push pop. Map is to just copy the array to another, you can use this. And join method to something like concatenate, you can be able to do. And there are so much of filter method is available, every method, entries method. These are some of the advanced concept, like every entry and sum and everything. So you can able to do that. Okay, so for example, you can use isArray method, like this array. Okay, so what this isArray method will do means, if you array isArray method, so what is this will be do means, it will check whether the array is an array or not. Because whenever I'm using an array, if I check for the data type, it will shows only what, it will shows only the object, right? It will shows only the object. So if I want to check whether the given data type is in particularly array, you can use array dot isArray. If I run this, it will return true, means then the value is an array. Okay, so if it is not array, then it will be written false. Okay, so as array is there, and we have index of method is there, include method is there. And if you use the index of method, like for example, x dot index of and here you can give the value which one you need an index. If I want the value for 3, if I give the 3, and if I run this, you can see it will it dot index of, I think I missed the, yeah, camel case. If I run this, you can see it will say -1 is there. So -1 means you don't have and value of 3. That is why it will send the index of method returns -1 if the element is not found, and the index of the element is found, it will be returned something like this. For example, I just say like this. Okay, if you pause the index something like this, x dot index of, run this, it will again return element like x. Okay, so it will remove it. Okay, so that is why I'm using something like this. So because this will remove it, then it will show, you can see 0 is returned, which means in the 0th index this value is present. Okay, so that is how these methods and all work. Okay, so today we have discussed about the methods and about that, and about the difference between the objects and arrays, right? So this is all about the methods, and tomorrow we will cover the we will complete the fundamentals. We will entirely complete the fundamentals, and we will move on to some of the advanced concept in the last class. Okay, so it's right now time's up. I will send you the form and you can fill it now. Okay, so just a minute, I just send the form now. If you have any doubts, you can ask now, and I can hope that I can reply it. Sir, how to link front end and back end? So when you, yeah, it's very easy. Like for example, it depends upon what the programming language you are building. Like if you want to link the front end and back end, so actually everything will be handled in the back end. Okay, so the front end, whatever the front end you are doing, it will be taken to the back end. Okay, so it will be taken to the back end, and they will, how can I explain? Like for example, if you are creating an app, like for example, if you are creating an CRUD application, something like this, it is very easy, right? It is very easy. And some place, for example, in your website, where is the backend activities happen? In the form, in the sign up page, something where that place only that backend activities happen, right? So backend is not like something different we are coding. The same coding here we are working with more on the creative part, right? So the same like in backend we are working on the logical part. Okay, so we working on the logical part. There is no like we have nothing like that. So you can able to do that. Okay, for example, if you are using Node.js, and every your backend file is also going to have the .js extension. Okay, so everything that you are working with, that you can link it to the original document of the HTML, and that's it. And based upon your logic, it will be going to reflect. Okay, so that is the main reason. Okay, so that, like, don't confuse, like it is very easy, don't confuse like how I want to link backend and front end. No, it will be easy. Okay, so you can able to link the backend and front end once you simply see a simple project, that will be easy for you. Okay, so it is not an like not a big task. Okay, it will be not that great thing to focus. So it will be easy, they will be done very easily. Okay, any other doubts? And if you finish the form filling, just give I'm finished. Okay, it's because we end the session. And if you have any other doubt, you can ask now. And also you can use your logical codes and your if you have some data and all, you work with mostly APIs, and you can able to use the APIs, and you can able to connect with the front end and all. That is also possible. It depends upon the projects, like what projects you are doing, it depends upon. Okay, so for example, if you working with Amazon, something like that, everything will be in an API format, like everything in an object and array format. You can use the array and object by using the DOM operation. You can display it in the front end, and the back end, for the back end you can use some of other objects. Okay, so actually an API will be there to connect your something like front ends and back ends. Okay, so we will have a webinar on backend also soon, right, sir? Actually, the next section is going to be React.js. Okay, it is going to be cover the front end, and the next week I'm going to take the React.js product projects, 5 days, 5 projects. I just going to take. Okay, slice and array. Okay, I think Ranjit is asking for slides. It's very easy, like you can just go and Google it, you can find out, right? Something like this. Okay, so just I explain it very soon. Okay, so the next week is going to be 5 days of React concept, like how we are talking about JavaScript. So React concept we will talk, and that class is taken by our founder Abid Viswas sir, and he will take React.js class. And after that week, the last week of this month, I will take React.js project, 5 days, 5 projects. Okay, so we're going to create a 5 days, 5 project by using React.js. That will be done. And Node.js, you can expect like backend, you can expect very soon, maybe the next month. You can expect in the first week, second week, something like that. It's up to our first hands, and sure he will be note all your comments and all. He will be respond to you very soon. Okay, you will get the backends too. And even we have already done some of the backends, Express.js, Node.js, and complete Marine Stack Bootcamp. Everything we have already done, and hope that it will be repeat very soon. Okay, so you will get that. And slice in array, it's very just, you can simply put the word in the Google, you will find it. Okay, you just go to the Google and you just find it. Okay, it is very easy, something like this. Okay, you can see a W3 school is always comes friend. What it is going to be do. If I say slice one, you can see what it's going to be. This is the starting of the index, this is the ending of the index, and this is inclusive, this is exclusive, which means it takes the index and it will leaves that index. So one, this is inclusive, so orange is taken, lemon is taken, and 3 is an inclusive, which means exclusive, so the apple and all will not take it. Okay, so it is something like you need to slice something, you need to slice an array. You can do that, like for example, they slice particularly these two things, and they will store it in another array. Okay, so when you call this, it will be displayed in here. Okay, slice in array, same thing like this, everything will be same. Okay, so the right now task is for you is go through some other methods like Ranjit asked. Okay, so go through some other methods that are out there in JavaScript and do some works. Okay, that's for you. I think hope everyone is completed their form filling. Can we end this section right now? Okay, so just give your feedback and leave the meet. Okay, so just because I will see the comment, just give your feedback and leave the meet. Okay, so see you in the next class.